Good morning, excuse me a moment. Right, so I'm just going to get everything ready. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There we are, come and say hello. I know I am a little bit early today, so I'll just take a sip of water while we're waiting and see who is going to join in today. So hello. Today we are going to be talking all about sleep. Excuse me. I don't know about you, but the weather is horrible here. It's wet and it's grey and it is miserable. So, yeah, we're just going to wait a few minutes see if anybody is going to show up live. Good morning, good morning. Please come and say hello in the comments so I can see. Is that you, Jill? Can't see. Jill, if it is you, I think maybe you haven't got the workbook, which is why you couldn't find the list. So I've now put the workbook just as a post in the Facebook group. So that's got like the self-awareness checklist. Hello, Jill. Did you find the what you were looking for? So I put the list in as a JPEG under your comment, and I've now also put the whole of the workbook which goes with this series just as a post. Super. Because you'll want the recipes if you want to make, especially if you want to make the bath salts. So just, yeah, for anybody else who's listening, all of these sort of to help you navigate around the Facebook group, all of these videos from the Feel Good Workshop series are in Unit 2. So if you go to the top, underneath the picture of me, it says something like, you know, about discussion. One of the tabs is units. So if you go into units, Unit 1 is the magical Christmas workshop that we did in December. And then Unit 2 is the Feel Good January workshop. And that has got the videos in and the homework. And then if you go further along, there's a tab called Files, and then so the workbook is in there, and then some of the recipes that I've talked about and things like that. So that's quite a good way of finding things. So thank you, Jill, for coming. It's lovely to see you as always. So today we're going to talk about sleep. Also, first of all, I should tell you who I am, shouldn't I? Maybe not everybody knows who I am, so if you're new, welcome. And I'm Becky, and I am the designer and creative entrepreneur behind the luxury homeware brand Chez Becky. And today I am sporting one of my creations, all available in my shop. So I'm also a coach, a mindset coach as well, and I offer one-to-one coaching to women because I can relate to women, because basically to help you go through the journey that I've gone through, you know, from being, good morning Nikki, lovely to see you, going from, you know, feeling very lost and disconnected to yourself to, you know, very connected and with yourself and in tune with yourself. So I also help people do that. So please come and say hello. Lovely Emma, good morning. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. That is lovely. So this is day 2 of the January workshop series, and we are going to be talking about sleep. because sleep is really, really important, isn't it? And I know in the past I've fallen into the trap of staying up late, and then because you feel that that's your time, that's when you can get some me time, so you have some kind of time to yourself, or you want to watch something on television and you want to unwind, and then you end up going to bed late, and then you don't get enough sleep, and then you wake up tired, and you start the day on the wrong foot, and you're grumpy and tired and irritable. And so if we can have, a good night's sleep, it sets us up for the day and can make our whole day more enjoyable, rather than hanging on to the end of the day, to that time when you've got a bit of time for yourself and thinking that that's your time to enjoy, because it's the whole of our day, isn't it, that we want to try and enjoy as most as we can. And I also find, when you have something difficult or just either challenging, if you're not tired and you're feeling good, it's so much easier to cope with, isn't it? So, how I'm interested to know, how does tiredness, when you're tired, how does it show up for you? For me, I get really grumpy, and I get really emotional, and I cry really easily. I find it really hard to be objective. And things that are difficult are even more difficult, and I'm quite irritable, so not very nice, really. So I'd love to know if you can relate to any of those things. How does tiredness show up for you? Let me know in the comments, leave me a comment. So the reason I'm looking down is because I can't read the comments up here. I have to read them on my laptop down here, so that's why I'm looking down. So getting good quality sleep is really, really important to us. You see, I'm trying not to say should. That's what I'm doing. It's not good. It's not a good word to use. So we think about exercise. Yeah, lots of tears when we're tired. You're an early morning person, Jill. Yeah, I'm changing. I used to be a real late night person, and now I'm turning into an early morning person. So having good sleep is one of our high priorities, really, should be just as high a priority as eating well and getting exercise. It's a fundamental thing that we need. It's even a form of torture, isn't it? How they torture prisoners. They don't let them sleep. Sleep is so vital for our body and our brains to regenerate, and our brains process all the information for the day, and they need to do this so they can function well. So sleep is just so important. So we have a natural body clock, a natural time keeping in our body called the circadian rhythm, and this affects, like I said, the whole of our bodies. So what can really help is exposing ourselves to bright light during the middle of the day, because that's Nikki, I love the quiet of the early mornings too. I'll have to do another workshop where we do a morning routine, because getting up and going for a walk in the morning when there's nobody else around is just really, really magical and really sets you up for the day, doesn't it? So I totally agree with that, Nikki. Sorry, sidetracked. So yes, we have a natural body clock, a circadian rhythm, and so if we expose ourselves to bright light, so at the middle of in the day, if we go out for a walk, and it's especially on a bright day, or if we can't have any sunlight, if the lights are on, it can be replicated with artificial light. And your body you're then reinforcing to your body that it's the middle of the day, and this is this time of day, and it helps the body to recognise where it's at, and then it knows that it's going to go on from the middle of the day towards the evening and start to unwind. So it's and so in the middle of the day we want bright light, because if we think of this, how the sun rises and sets and the different colours of light, so in the morning and the evening at sunrise and sunset we get that lovely soft warm orange light, and in the middle of the day we get bright blue light. So in the evenings, if we spend a lot of time on our electrical devices like smartphones, TVs, computers, these all have blue light, which is which the body associates with the middle of the day, which is why it's really difficult for our bodies then to switch off and go to sleep, because you've spent the last few hours telling your body that it's the middle of the day because it's been looking at all this blue light. So that's a really important thing to understand. I don't know if this is new to you. I mean, there's been people talk about this quite a lot, so it might not be new to you, but it can be really good to switch off the devices and have a period of time before you try and go to sleep without the blue light, because that's really helps us. I mean, they say 2 hours. I don't know, I normally watch telly. It's probably about an hour, my little bedtime routine. I go out in my snail house whenever there is sun and when there is snow on the ground. I love that, Jill. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I love it when it snows, because you get all that reflected light and it's really bright, and I'm quite obsessed by sunlight, I've decided, because I'm like, is it sunny today? No. Okay, another thing we probably all know is don't drink caffeine in the evening, because caffeine is a stimulant and it keeps you awake. So I love my coffee, but quite a few years ago now I accidentally sort of didn't drink any coffee. I was really busy. It was quite a few years ago now. I was waitressing, and I went for like 3 or 4 days, and I didn't drink any tea or coffee by accident, and I had this thumping headache for, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days. And normally if I take an aspirin or a paracetamol, my headaches will go, but it wouldn't go. This headache wouldn't go, and then it just dawned on me that I hadn't drunk any coffee. And so I had a drink of coffee and the headache just disappeared. And I was so shocked about the reaction that my body had to this caffeine withdrawal that I weaned myself off the caffeine, and then for about 4 or 5 years I didn't drink any coffee or tea at all. And now, I mean, what I missed was coffee, because I do drink tea as well, but for me there's something about coffee and the smell, and so now I do have 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day, but I'll only drink them in the morning, kind of up to midday. So limit your caffeine consumption later in the day. Hello Kim, it's nice that you can join us, thanks. So another thing that's really good to do is to do the same thing, get into a routine and do the same thing every day, because of the way our body clocks work. They like, in cycles, our bodies like to know where they are, and so if you do the same thing over and over again, as in get up at the same time and go to bed at the same time roughly, your body knows what is expected of it. So then this can help you have a better quality of sleep. Drinking alcohol, that's not good for your quality of sleep. And it's because it affects the production of melatonin, which is the sleep hormone that you produce. So your sleep becomes very disruptive, and I'm sure, well, I know I've certainly experienced that when you wake up and you just, after a party, and you just feel like you haven't had any sleep at all, even though you know you have, and it's because the quality of the sleep hasn't been very good. And so the next thing you can do is to create a calm and relaxing environment in your bedroom. So, you know, have really good curtains, so you block out any, you know, if you live in a village or a town near street lights, block out the street lights, block out any lights in the room, you know, like on your radio, if you've got a bright light, or that sort of thing, and noise. So, I mean, we can't always control that, but obviously if it's quiet, it'll help you sleep. The dark helps you sleep. And also the temperature of the room helps you sleep. You know, when you go on holiday and it's really hot and you feel like you can't sleep very well, it's uncomfortable. So, or I know I've stayed in hotel rooms and I forgot to turn the radiators off, and you wake up and you're so hot and you're dehydrated because the room's so hot. So, yeah, so the temperature of the room is key. And then, you know, get your body, start telling your body before you're going to go to sleep that you want to go to sleep. So this is the idea of having a bedtime routine. So it helps you relax, and, you know, your body can't just switch off like that. So it's a process, you know. I just always think of, you know, the little ones, you know, they have a bedtime routine, you know, to get them, so they know what they're going to do. They have their bath, they read their story, and they go to bed. Well, it's the same for us. So, you know, we need our bedtime routine as well. Kim, it's lovely that you're here. Don't worry that you're late. It's fine. I was just saying earlier, actually, so all of these videos will go into units 2. So if you want to find the videos quickly, so if you go to the top of the Facebook group, and there's all the tabs at the top, like discussion about, one of them is units. So this is unit 2. So the videos are there, really easy for you to find, so I hope that helps. So then another thing you can do is meditate. If you find that your mind really buzzes when you get into bed, you know, you can meditate to help calm your mind. And there's a really good website app called Insight Timer, and they actually have sleep meditations in there. So that's another way of, you know, getting your body ready to go to sleep. Drinking chamomile tea, this about 45 minutes before you go to bed, this can help you get to sleep. I've written down the technical bit because I wouldn't be able to remember it. So the plant, it has a plant extract in it called apigenin, which is a chemical compound that induces sleepiness, and it binds to the GABA receptors in the brain. How about that? So it has a relaxing effect on the brain. So there have actually been studies on this. This isn't just woo-woo, airy-fairy stuff. There have been studies on this, and actually the more you look into, you know, sleep, and there's been all sorts of, it's very interesting, all sorts of studies that have been done on sort of what would have been called alternative things, but, you know, they're not so alternative anymore. I don't think. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it anyway. And at the end of the day, we each need to tune into what works for us. And if you're not sure what works for you, try different things, and then tune in to what is working for you, because we are all different, and different things do suit different people, because I know people have said, oh, you should try this or you should try that, and sometimes it really resonates with me and I think, yeah, great, yeah, and other times I'm like, I don't get that, and that's fine. So it's about tuning in to what suits you and what you need, and only you know that. So and then the last thing to do, or that I do before I go to sleep most nights, is, you know, when I've done all my bathing and the whole shebang, and I'm in bed and I've had a bit of a read, and so by the time I've done all that, you know, quite a bit of time has passed since I was watching the telly or looking at a computer screen, so it's a good way of getting rid of the blue light out of your system. I lie in bed and just think about one or two lovely things that I'm really, really grateful for. And when I say grateful, I mean deeply, deeply appreciative. Not that you should be grateful that we used to get when we were children. Not that. You know, that real deep, deep gratitude for thinking, oh, you know, I have a lovely house, or haven't I got a lovely partner, or something really that wasn't that lovely, that thing that happened today, and just going to sleep with this, you know, this lovely thought in your head, and so you can carry this, you know, happy feeling into your sleep, and you know, that's such a good way to end the day. And then my last thing is to say to yourself, when I wake up in the morning, my intention is to be, you know, happy and awake, and not feeling like, oh God, I've had a really bad night's sleep and I haven't slept very well. But if you go to bed thinking that you're going to have a good sleep and you're going to wake up and feel refreshed, that's the word I was looking for, feel refreshed, you're much more likely to do it than if you go to bed thinking, oh, I'm really tired and I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be really tired. So again, it goes back to our frame of mind, really, how important that is, and it all sinks in and it all connects to how we feel. So there we go. So if you download the workbooks, the recipes and all the ingredients for my bath salts and lavender scrub are all in there, and you can easily order it all online, because I have. So I'm going to show you my apron today I'm wearing, which is of course a Shea Becky apron. There we go. So I love wearing an apron because I'm really, really clumsy. So and I obviously want to wear a lovely one. So these are all in my shop. So I have a discount code for you. If you haven't been in the group, there's a special discount code for this weekend if you would like to order something. And so there we go. I am going to start off by showing you how to make the rose bath salts. So in my bowl, I have got my Epsom salts. I've weighed them out already. You didn't want to. Then I've got my pink Himalayan salt here. Now it's quite big. I've gone for the coarse stuff, so I've actually crushed it a bit with the pestle and mortar, but you don't have to. That's just because I like doing that. So mix. Oh yes, I did realise this, I didn't write the recipe down very well in the workbook, so the one I have, I mean, it's really basic, it's really easy, but if you want, I've just updated it slightly and I put it into the group if you want to print out my latest one, because my instructions aren't very good. I'm sorry, I do apologise. So put the 2 lots of salts together in a bowl and you just stir them up and they look all nice and pretty, and it's so nice having the Himalayan pink salt in there because it's such a pretty colour, and of course because we're doing rose, you know, it just goes so beautifully. So then what I do is I've got a measuring spoon and we want 10 drops of, there it comes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of this lovely, oh, I wish you could smell it. Oops, where's the camera? Oh, it's backwards for you, isn't it? So, oh, it absolutely smells amazing. So I put the essential oil into the little measuring spoon and then top that up. I'm going to try and do it so you can see without pouring it everywhere. Okay, and the reason to do that is that we want to dilute the essential oil slightly because essential oils are really, really strong. So then we pour that oil into the bowl with our salts and then we just mix it all up like that. So we've got the Epsom salts, the Himalayan salt, that was the oil and the essential rose oil, and oh, have a smell. They smell absolutely amazing. And then I have a nice jar like this, you know, and these just make such lovely presents because, sorry, you can't really see what I'm doing, can you? I'll show you, putting it, I've not filled it up, but there we go. And then, you know, you can put them in a jar. And then I've got some dried rose petals here, which you can sprinkle on the top. Now sometimes I put them, you know, and you sprinkle them on the top, and obviously if you had a smaller jar or I haven't filled them up, you know, then it looks just really, really pretty. Michelle, I just use, oh, thank you. Well, this is what I thought. I wanted something bright and jolly today, Michelle. So I've just used my cooking olive oil. I was, because for my lemon and lavender sugar scrub, I use this coconut oil. And I was wondering about doing that, but I think it will smell quite a lot. You know, coconut's quite a strong smell, so I personally didn't want to have the coconut and rose. I wasn't sure about that, but you can use any oil, like sunflower oil, or preferably an oil that doesn't have too much of a smell. But I just used what I had in the cupboard to make it easy. So there we are. So there they are. The only other thing to bear in mind is, so then it's really lovely if you can kind of layer your bath salts with the dried rose petals. And I've given you a little thing about how to dry rose petals, because you just can, if you have a rose in your garden, you know, you can dry your own and then they smell amazing. Now these are a bit old because they're from this summer, so they don't smell anymore and they've lost their colour, but they still look quite pretty. And for me, when I lie in the bath and I put these bath salts in and sprinkle some rose petals, I mean, just makes me feel like a queen. And yeah, and that's what we want, isn't it? We all want it, we all deserve just to feel amazing, because we are all amazing. You ladies are amazing. So yeah, so there we are. So that's all it is. That's all it takes for the bath salts. And now so the lemon and lavender sugar scrub, which sounds like a bit of a tongue twister. So for that, we're going to use granulated sugar. That is the scrubby bit, which is great because it's got, you know, so many body scrubs these days. They have the, you know, the microplastics in, don't they? Which, you know, obviously isn't great for the environment. So sugar, perfect, and it dissolves. And in a small bowl, so So sorry, I haven't done a great job on this one either. So put your sugar in a small bowl and add the coconut oil. So this actually, just going to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and can't count and talk. So coconut oil actually solidifies. So I just warmed that up this morning. In a kind of bain marie kind of thing. I got a saucepan of warm water and stood it in the warm water because our kitchen is quite cold, so it had all solidified. So, or you could just stick it on a radiator if it goes a bit solid, you know, or somewhere warm basically. Anyway, so there we go. Then we're going to add the vitamin E. Where's my teaspoon gone? So I want half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil. Again, I just ordered that off the internet. So I've got my little measuring spoon. Vitamin E. And then 3 drops of lavender oil. Oops, that's a bit more than 3, never mind. Oh, okay, and then the zest of the lemon. Now, when I first made these, I actually sprinkled little bits of lavender into the scrub, which looks really pretty, but then if you're having a bath and you use the scrub, it looks like you're having a bath with dead flies in. So now I would say, when we get to the, you know, if you want to put some real lavender in it, just sprinkle a little on the top, and then when you use it, don't actually use it, because if you're having a shower, all those bits of lavender are going to go down the plug, which isn't going to do your drains any good. So we live and learn, don't we? So there we go. So I was just zesting a lemon there. Sorry, I forget you can't see very well. So in my jug here, I've got the coconut oil, the vitamin E, the essential lavender, and the lemon, and oh, it just smells so lovely. So then you can get a pretty jar like this, and then if you just spoon in, yeah, and then like the then you can, if you have some dried lavender like this, then just, you know, maybe just take some of the little heads and just place it on the top, because yeah, you don't want to actually sprinkle them. So there we go, and then you can have a little jar like that to use, and then put that in the fridge and it will go solid, and it is so lovely to use on your skin. When you use that, it makes your skin feel really, really lovely, so I can highly, highly recommend it. So that is today. So don't forget to share, do a post in the Facebook group. Tell me, are you a bath person or are you a shower person? Because sometimes I think you're kind of either one or the other. And let me know what scents you really love. You know, I love rose. You know, it's so relaxing. I've given you a bit of blurb about it. You know, Epsom salts are really good for you. They can help with dry skin, and they can help with stomach cramps and headaches, and rose is also a mood enhancing. And yeah, I just know that I love it when I lie in the bath and feel like a queen with my rose petals. So it's a really, really lovely way to treat yourself, you know, in such an easy way. So come into the Facebook group, do a share, and I have some of this essential rose oil, a new bottle ready to give away. So come and share in the Facebook group. And then tomorrow we are going to be talking about food. And obviously that's a massive, massive subject. So I decided to concentrate on breakfast, and I'm going to share a couple of my recipes with you for breakfast muffins and my raspberry bersha muesli, which is amazing. And yeah, so come and join me at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So have an... Oh, I forgot to say, didn't I? Oh, Emma, that is lovely. Happy to do that. Oh, that's so kind. So Emma has offered to donate some rose petals. So that's really, really lovely. Thank you, Emma. That's so kind. Yes, I remember coming to your lovely, lovely yoga retreat day last summer. I really hope we can do something like that again this year, because that is an amazing way to treat yourself well. I can highly recommend that. So, what was I saying? I lost track. Oh, yes. So, Gemma won the book token from yesterday. So congratulations, Gemma. I'll be in contact with you, and I'm very happy to get you a book token from a small independent shop. It doesn't have to be a massive online retailer, because I like to support small independent businesses. So Gemma, congratulations, and yes, share in the group today to be in for a chance to win some of this lovely rose essential oil. And I'll see you all lovely people tomorrow. Bye.